What up, everybody? The next episode of Raising Kanan will feature Baltimore Ravens superstar quarterback, two-time MVP Lamar Jackson on it, playing a character named E-Tone. E-Tone is described as a deadly dangerous character who you don't want to get on his bad side. It's also said he's an intimidating figure not to be messed with. And this might be the most excited I've ever been about an episode in the Power Universe, because most of y'all know that Unique is my favorite character in the entire Power Universe. And those who know me personally know that Lamar Jackson is my favorite football player, and probably my favorite active athlete. Not my favorite all-time athlete, that's Kobe Bryant, but my favorite active athlete. Now y'all know that about me too, and I can't wait to see my favorite athlete and my favorite power character on the screen together. From the images of E-Tone, we can tell that Unique is back at his tailor shop, which is the base of his operation. In this picture, we can also see that Unique has finally changed out the all-black jacket and hoodie and is back to dressing normal. Like he says in the episode 4 trailer, he thinks it's time for him to show his face. So the all-black and the hoodie was what he was wearing to make sure that nobody could identify him. And as Unique sets up shop at the tailor shop again, he'll also reconnect with the guy who works at the tailor shop, Ricardo. Ricardo's one of Unique's most loyal workers because he was the only one who was still around after Unique got out of jail in Season 2. And an Easter egg concerning Unique's tailor shop is that in Season 1 of Power, Episode 5, Ghost took Sean to a tailor shop to get a suit. And this tailor shop looks very similar to Unique's tailor shop. Getting me to the big question, what role will Lamar Jackson's character, E-Tone, have on the show? Because the People magazine article said that his role in the story is still unclear. But what we do know is that it's very unlikely that Jackson's character, E-Tone, will be a regular on the show, but at the same time, it's also unlikely that his character will get killed either. So because of that, the best reference we have is Lil Durk's character, Bronze, from Season 4 Power Book 2. Bronze was a cousin of the Tejadas from Atlanta who was in New York to celebrate Kane's wedding. But Bronze still put in a little work while he was in New York, trying to help the Tejadas avenge Monet's death. So with that said, I think the E-Tone character is most likely a cousin of Unique's from out of town, likely in town to check on Unique once he hears that he's alive after he thought he was dead. And from his character description, he's likely in town to help Unique get revenge on whoever tried to put him down, not knowing it was his other cousin, Ronnie. In real life, Lamar Jackson is from South Florida, close to the Miami area. Because of that, I think there's a good chance that E-Tone could be from Miami. And by the looks of the Raising Kanan images of E-Tone, it looks like he has other people with him, at least one more guy, likely his brother. Keeping in mind that when Bronze came to New York, he had two other guys with him who are either his brothers or cousins. I can't remember off the top of my head. And if E-Tone is in fact Unique's cousin from Miami, this is a very important detail moving forward. Because like I talked about in the video I made yesterday, I think that Unique is currently assembling the OG RSKs, the Rock Street Killers, using the rally cry of having a common enemy in Raquel Thomas. Because it was said in Power that there was a set of RSKs down in Miami, and Rolla's link to the RSKs in Miami and how the RSKs got to Miami in the first place was always unclear. The Miami RSKs were first mentioned by Drifty, telling Tommy that he has cousins in Miami and their gang crossed paths with pink sneakers, and she put down 5 men from their crew. And the crew from Miami that Drifty's cousin had beef with was the Rock Street Killers. Drifty went on to say that Rolla had street brothers down in Miami. Notice that Drifty called them Rolla's street brothers. This is an important detail because in the video I made talking about Rolla being Jerome, Unique's son, I had people in the comments saying that was impossible because Rolla had a brother named Q-Dubs who took over after Rolla died. And yes, I do know that Q-Dubs called Rolla his brother, but I don't think that was his blood brother. I think it was more of a street brother, like Drifty said, more of a Ghost and Tommy type brotherhood. And just like I think Jerome is Rolla, I think that Q-Dubs might be Warrell's son, who was mentioned in season 3 of Raising Kanan. Then when Ghost was checking with Kanan trying to get proof that Rolla was behind the attacks against his organization, Kanan told Ghost that Rolla put up 100 bands for an out-of-town hitter and then took a trip to Miami about a month prior, and Kanan said Rolla met up with his RSK brothers down in Miami who introduced him to a Latin girl hitter, Pink Sneakers. Kanan told Ghost that he got that information because some of his people who were locked up with him had connections down in Miami. Keeping in mind, it was later said by Q-Dubs that the RSKs stood side by side with Kanan while he was locked up and that he should have been flying that green flag when he got out. This lets us know that Kanan connected with the RSKs inside prison and was plotting with a plan to take them down, using them as a scapegoat to blame for his attacks against Ghost and Tommy's organization. He befriended the RSKs inside and was gathering information about them, like how the Miami RSKs hired the Latin hitter and that Rolla had took a trip down to Miami. Kanan was utilizing law number 14 of the 48 Laws of Power, pose as a friend, work as a spy. And now that Unique is linking up with his cousin, E-Tone, I think they'll form a state-to-state alliance, a brotherhood that will later be called the RSKs. And since the RSKs are still active down in Miami, and like Drifty told Tommy, they were very strong in Florida, I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually see the RSKs pop up again in the future on the current power timeline, especially if we ever see a spin-off that's based out of Miami. Keeping in mind that when Gary Lennon received his new multi-year deal to add expansions to the Power universe, it was said that there will be unexpected extensions. And since they never did anything with the Miami RSK storyline, I think we could definitely end up seeing them again in the future. And if E-Tone is in fact Unique's cousin and the founding member of the Miami RSK set, that would be a great way to lay the foundation for that potential storyline in a future spinoff. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.